The insiders, all from their home offices, are Darren Drager, Pierre Lebrun, and Chris Johnston. And gentlemen, this felt today like a lighter, somewhat less frightening version of the day Rudy Gobert tested positive in March 2020. And it's not 2020. We have vaccines and protocols and much more knowledge, but just in the sense that it feels like troublesome things are coming. So where are we at right now with the NHL, Pierre?
Well, James, what it felt to me was depressing, but yeah, it's there's a lot going on. Number one, I asked the NHL, is there any way if these COVID cases continue to escalate around the NHL that we're staring at a potential pause on the season? And the response I got from a league source was, no, I do not anticipate or envision a league shutdown. I got the exact same answer we all did today from an NHLPA source as well, that they don't anticipate a shutdown either. But that's not to say there's not a lot at play here. Number one, the doctors who have been advising both the NHL and the NHLPA are having a call tonight, James, to discuss the latest happenings, which are happening very quickly, and presumably to suggest next steps. What could that be? Well, enhanced protocols, I think, would be on the table, which is more mask wearing around the league and the facilities. How about daily testing? Right, since the start of the season, the players had been tested every 3 days. Could it go to daily testing with enhanced measures? So look for all those things to potentially come to fruition here over the next few days.
Yeah, and look, I mean, how COVID has traveled from team to team also matters in the conversations that the National Hockey League are having with their medical people, likewise for the Players Association. We know the Calgary Flames are shut down, and we're looking at the Carolina Hurricanes now. And all you have to do is link the Carolina Hurricanes to their recent trip through Western Canada. They stopped in Calgary, they stopped in Edmonton, they stopped in Vancouver. And now as we get fully into the week, you can see that players from all of those teams have entered into the COVID-19 protocols of the National Hockey League. But even though this sounds and feels really bad, until you have multiple teams that are facing a shutdown, neither the Players Association or the National Hockey League believe that the season will be derailed. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
This is moving so fast, CJ. It seems like NHL participation in the Olympics has gone from very likely to iffy to now serious jeopardy. Is that fair?
It's fair on one hand, James, because certainly it hasn't been great news, including some information from the International Olympic Committee over the weekend about potential quarantines that could last up to 5 weeks for anyone that does produce positive confirmed COVID tests during the Olympics. But the NHLPA did have 2 calls already this week. There's another scheduled for Wednesday night with players. And, I was told that the sentiment actually on that call that there was no one sort of banging the table saying we can't go or I'm not going to go. And that was in the face of some tough news because they went through that exact COVID protocol and quarantine schedule that I laid out there and talked about some of the other unknowns. I think that there's real concern. Essentially, the players were told, once you get on that plane to China, there's not a whole lot we can do for you. We're going to still try to hammer down on what exactly these quarantines mean, what the medical situation will look like. But once you're over there, you're in the hands of the Chinese government and the doctors making those types of decisions. And despite that, the players, didn't get to a point where we have other players like Robin Lehner who are ready to opt out. And so, ultimately, I don't think this will come down to a player vote. It's going to be individual decisions. But, the top players, the guys that are in consideration for Olympic teams at this point in time, just want more information. I don't think any of them are ready to pull the plug just yet.
And just to show you how quickly this story is changing in a matter of days, just last Friday when the three of us were at the Board of Governors meeting, Gary Bettman basically said it's really up to the players whether or not there's going to be Olympic participation because the league is willing to honor its promise to the players in the CBA of going to Beijing, with one little caveat, which now has taken on a lot more importance, which is if the NHL season is threatened. Bill Daly's exact words last week were, if there's a material disruption to the NHL season, then that agreement with the PA suggests the league can ask for a pullout.
12 days to the start of the World Junior Hockey Championship. What are the implications there, Drakes?
Yeah, I mean, internationally, obviously, all eyes are on Alberta. Charters will arrive with all the federations coming into Edmonton. Look, the belief is that given the experience of Edmonton holding major events and the fact that they have effectively been COVID-free in terms of outbreaks, that they're in a good position. But they've got to get through the first 3 to 5 days, even a week. And if they can, then that'll help build confidence to the Olympic tournament in China, just proving internationally that it can be done.
And again, that is the information right now. As we say, Omicron changes things. It'll be different tomorrow and likely the day after that. We'll keep the insiders on it.